Hello, it's Dr. Judson Brandeis, and I'm coming to you from BrandeisMD in San Ramon, California. A lot of my patients ask me about AFFIRM by AFFIRM Science and how nitric oxide boosters work. And so I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how nitric oxide boosters work in terms of general circulation and also specifically how they work to improve erections. And so in order to get an erection, blood flow is the most important thing. So when the heart pumps, the first place the blood goes is back to the heart through the coronary arteries, which are 3 to 4 millimeters in size. The next place the blood goes is the brain, then the lungs, then the liver, then the kidneys, then the intestines, and then blood flow splits into left and right, and then splits, some part goes into the leg, the other part goes to the hypogastric artery. The hypogastric artery goes into the pelvis, and the branches of the hypogastric artery include branches to the tailbone, to the gluteus muscle, to the bladder, to the prostate, to the rectum, to the vas deferens, and the very last branch of the last major artery goes to the penis. So the thing that most guys think about first is the last thing that gets blood. Or I was giving a talk at a men's club the other day, and some guy raised his hand and said, "How come God didn't put the penis right here?" So the problem is that because it's such a long way from the heart, the next thing you have to do is to fill the penis with blood. And so it fills up this spongy tissue right here. Now, as the blood is filling the spongy tissue, it increases the size of the penis. We all know that. The problem is, as arterial blood is pumping in, the vein is returning blood back to the systemic circulation. So what you need to do is to get the blood pressure high enough to exert a tourniquet-like effect on the veins returning blood back to the venous circulation. When you're able to block the venous return, then you go from a full penis to a rigid erection. Now, how do you do that? Well, one simple thing to do is to use nitric oxide. So you have two systems in your body that move blood around from place to place. You have nitric oxide, and you have what's called the phosphodiesterase system. So think about it this way. You're exercising. Where's most of your blood? In your arms and your legs. Okay, after you exercise, you go and you have a meal. Where does most of your blood go? To the intestines. After you finish your meal, you go back to work and you start studying. Where does your blood go? It goes to the brain. So how does your body do that? It uses two systems, the nitric oxide system and the phosphodiesterase system. And you have nitric oxide and phosphodiesterase all throughout your body. Now, the genius of Viagra and Cialis is that they specifically target a specific PDE5, a specific phosphodiesterase number 5 that's only in the penis. But in a general sense, what happens is when nerves are stimulated, they release nitric oxide. When nitric oxide is released onto smooth muscle cells in blood vessels, what it does is it converts GTP into cyclic GMP. Now, cyclic GMP, the name's not that important, but know that cyclic GMP then goes on to cause an erection by opening up blood vessels. Now, what phosphodiesterase number 5 does is it breaks down cyclic GMP into 5' GMP, which is inactive. Okay, the names are not that important, but what a PDE5 inhibitor does is it blocks the breakdown of cyclic GMP so that more cyclic GMP is available to open up blood vessels. Okay, so you have the nitric oxide system and the phosphodiesterase system. Okay, and like I said, there are phosphodiesterases all around the body. So the brain has PDE1 and 2. The retina's got PDE6. The heart's got 1 through 4 and 11. The lungs have 4. The penis has 5. And so if you block 5, you preferentially shunt blood into the penis to get a better erection. Okay? Now the problem is nitric oxide goes down as you get older. So I'm 52, my nitric oxide is somewhere between 65% and 15%. If you're the average American and you're 50, you're somewhere around 25%. Now, you can still function with 25% nitric oxide, but think about it like a dimmer switch in a room. if you turn the dimmer switch down to 25%, you can still see in a room, but you probably can't speed read and you definitely can't do surgery. So the important thing is to boost nitric oxide, right? You're boosting circulation. You're maintaining the elasticity of blood vessels, because elastic blood vessels allow circulation out to the periphery. If your blood vessels turn into PVC pipe, you're not going to be able to bring blood as efficiently out to the periphery. And so what's going to happen? Your heart's going to pump harder. When your heart pumps harder and the blood vessels are stiffer, what do we call that? We call it high blood pressure, right? Then you go to the doctor and he says, oh, you got high blood pressure. And so what does he do or she do? They put you on a blood pressure medication. What does a blood pressure medication do? It decreases blood pressure at the periphery. And what happens to those blood vessels at the periphery? They don't get enough blood. So what happens to your erection? It goes away. So what you want to do is proactively maintain nitric oxide so that you get the elasticity of those blood vessels and you get the circulation out to the periphery. I'm going to skip these for now and talk about how to replace nitric oxide. Okay, the way to replace nitric oxide is to take a nitric oxide boosting supplement like AFFIRM. AFFIRM is made of L-citrulline. L-citrulline comes from watermelon. The amount of L-citrulline in these pills, each tablet contains enough watermelon for 1 pound. So by taking 4 of these tablets, you're eating basically the benefits of 4 pounds of watermelon. Now, I like watermelon. I could eat 4 pounds of watermelon a day, but after a while, I think I would get sick and tired of it. It also contains beets, which are a potent nitric oxide booster. It contains ginseng, which is a potent nitric oxide booster, and potency wood from Brazil, or Muir, which also is a nitric oxide booster. Why wouldn't we just use L-citrulline? Well, if you knew that you were specifically sensitive to L-citrulline, then you could just take L-citrulline. But the thing is, we're preparing a supplement for a whole variety of people, and so we have to use a little bit of a shotgun approach. Some people are going to be more sensitive to beets. Some people are going to be more sensitive to ginseng or Muir. So we combine all of those ingredients into a tablet, which is a good way to get more supplement. Now, this is totally safe, and I'm going to prove that it's totally safe to you by taking 8 tablets. Now, I wouldn't recommend that you take 8 tablets a day. I recommend my patients who are undergoing shockwave therapy take a loading dose of 4 tablets a day, and patients will go on a maintenance dose of about 2 tablets a day, although I take 4 tablets a day, and I find great benefit in terms of improving exercise tolerance, mental clarity, and I get much better morning erections. Okay, and so, but what I'm going to do is to show that it's not bad, I'm going to take 8 tablets. Now, tablets are a little bit more difficult to take than capsules, but I found a super easy way. If you just put your neck back, it opens up the windpipe and the esophagus, and it goes down super easy. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. 8. So I've never actually taken 8 all at one time. So if I don't make it back to work tomorrow, you know not to take 8. But theoretically, it should be totally safe. The therapeutic dose of L-citrulline is 3 grams to 10 grams. So this is Dr. Judson Brandeis. I hope you learned something, and I'm signing out. Thank you very much.